To order the Pasco County Commission 10 o'clock meeting of May 9th, 2023. At this time, silence all electronic devices and mute your phones. Please rise for the invocation and pledge.
O merciful Creator, your hand is open wide to satisfy the needs of every living creature. Make us thankful for your loving providence and grant that we, remembering the account that we must one day give, may be faithful stewards of your good gifts. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Many of you noted that Commissioner Bradford has been absent from recent board meetings. The Commissioner has recently received the diagnosis of chronic lymphocytic leukemia, or CLL. It's the most common form of blood cancer in adults and is highly survivable. Commissioner Bradford is upbeat, positive, working with Moffitt Care Center, and will be focused on his treatment and is convalescing from home for the next several weeks. And I will tell you, when he first was coming down with sickness, I says, look, do what you got to do, get yourself healthy. We're behind you, we'll stick with you, just get yourself healthy. During this time, the District 4 office is in full operation and available to the public, although he'll be unavailable for meetings. Commissioner Bradford is in regular contact with his staff. Legislative assistants Todd Pillars and Paula Cernigliario can be reached during regular business hours. And I've asked them if they needed any help from a commissioner. I reached out to them to say, let me do what I can do to help you as well. Thank you for your support and understanding while also providing privacy for him and his family during this difficult time. The Commission prays for a speedy recovery. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Yes, sir. District 1, Commissioner Oakley.
Here.
District 2, Commissioner Wakeman.
Here.
District 3, Commissioner Starkey is not present at this time. District 4, Commissioner Bradford
Excused.
is not present and excused. District 5, Chairman Mariano.
Here. Okay. Now is the time for public comment. Citizens are given an opportunity to comment on any current or future agenda item coming before the board and on other business under the board's purview. Today's public comment will be handled as follows. First, we will take public comment for those who are here in person. Then we will take public comment for those who pre-register a WebEx link and currently on the queue. We request when you address the board, comments are not directed personally at a commissioner or team member, but rather directed at the issues. This provides mutual respect between board members and the public. After stating your name and address for the clerk, a 3-minute timer will be activated. After 2 minutes, a single beep will indicate you have 1 minute left. When your time is up, 2 beeps will sound, and you should close your comments. WebEx participants will be disconnected automatically when their time is up. Mr. Clerk, do we have anyone signed up for public comment?
Yes, sir. We have 1 in person and 2 online. Calling now Tammy Cook.
Okay, in person.
Morning. Good morning to the board. Thank you. My name is Tammy Cook. I live at 7345 Blue Stem Court. First, thank you to Venkat and Panos at Traffic Operations for everything they're doing to help Watergrass with the damages to Old Bridge Road. We're very grateful for the geotech study being done, the traffic studies, and the no trucks ordinance on the agenda to be presented to the board today. Speaking of the no trucks ordinance, once it's put in place, where can I find that ordinance number to provide to the Watergrass CDD board? Will there be a flashing sign trailer put up until the permanent signage is in place? I'd also like to inform the board that it has come to the residents' attention that the residents of Watergrass and the CDD board has now paid $7,000 in repairs to the manhole cover on the corner of Overpass and Old Bridge Road because that road is too narrow for semis and oversized trucks to make that turn. It's been damaged or destroyed 3 times now, so again, thank you very much. Second, what is the interim plan for the I-75 traffic from exit 282 Overpass Road that was supposed to be routed from the interstate exit to Highway 301 using the overpass extension? Since the interstate exit opened 5+ years before that project might begin, how will traffic operations be working to route the excess of traffic using that exit? Wesley Chapel is now one of the fastest growing communities in the region, with projections estimating a population of 93,700 people by 2024. May I propose that this project be moved to the earliest possible start date? The population density growth has already warranted that. An additional concern with the overpass extension not being completed is noise pollution. Does Pasco County have a noise ordinance for decibel limits allowed for road noise caused by traffic in residential zones? If so, can we request a noise pollution study in the affected areas of Watergrass and Epperson? As concerned citizens in this area, the additional thousands of homes will produce thousands more cars on the road within these two communities. It's our understanding that Newport Richey has strengthened their noise ordinance in residential areas. The ordinance sets the limits at 55 decibels from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. It drops to 50 decibels from 10:01 p.m. to 6:59 a.m. Does this ordinance also apply to Wesley Chapel? The traffic noise in Watergrass and Epperson currently far exceeds these limits. Also, are there noise ordinances for mufflers, the use of Jake brakes in residential areas, etc.? Who enforces that when drivers are in violation, if so?
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Before you leave, if you would talk to Branford. Branford, if you would. Speak with her about the manhole cover and the issues with that, and then the resident commissioner, I'm sure, will address your concerns with you. Thank you for bringing it forward. And anyone else in person want to address the board? Okay, and we have 2 on queue.
We have 2 in queue. Serena Arnold. Serena Arnold.
Good morning.
Yes, we're hearing you now.
My name is Serena Arnold. I live at 4276 Furnace Loop in Odessa. I'm a resident of
Ranch, and I would like to express my deep opposition to the proposed cell tower located at my children's school. I have read through section 1002 wireless communications facilities of the Pasco County Land Development Code, and I would like to point out several areas of concern. Code requirements for Tier 2 and Tier 3 wireless communication facilities have defined development standards that the applicant must demonstrate before approving a conditional use permit. Standards include demonstrating that there are no co-location opportunities, performing a visual impact analysis, defining RF information, parking and access plan, and screening and landscaping requirements. Also, the development standards encourage the compatibility of wireless communication facilities with the surrounding land uses and protect the community's attractiveness, health, safety, general welfare, and property values. The current agenda item that the Board of County Commissioners will be considering is only land lease for Vertex development, granting land rights via the approval of the ground lease the developer without requiring the developer to demonstrate compliance with the current county land use code is getting the cart before the horse. At a minimum, vote on this ground lease should be held off until the complete land use application package has been submitted and deemed complete by county staff. Further, the proposed location of the cell tower on Starkey K-8 school grounds does not and cannot meet requirements outlined in the current Pasco County land codes, development land codes. Location standards for the placement of new towers require that adverse visual impact on the surrounding area is minimized. The proposed location will have a high degree of negative visual factors, including 1, a large amount the wireless communication facility will be visible from normal view. 2, wireless communication facility design, material, location, and size will readily catch and hold a viewer's eye when viewed from normal views. 3, wireless communication facility will be a normal view of a person in a moving vehicle for more than a short period of time. 4, wireless communication facility will be readily identifiable as a wireless facility by an average viewer. 5, wireless communication facility, when viewed from normal views, will appear out of place in the area. For these reasons, I am requesting that the BOC remove the Starkey Ranch K-8 cell tower vote until the county has fully vetted and approved this project. Thank you.
Thank you. Next person.
And our last person in queue, Aaron Straub. Aaron Stroop.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can now. Go ahead.
Great.
Good morning. My name is Erin Stroop, and I live at 3098 Oliver Creek Drive. I am also a resident of the Starkey Ranch community. As Serena mentioned, accompanying the adverse visual impacts of the proposed tower will be the reduction of surrounding property values. The National Association of Realtors noted a 2018 article, Wireless Towers and Home Values, an alternative valuation approach using a spatial econometric, published in the Journal of Real Estate, Finance, and Economics, found that the negative impact on homeowners surrounding a cell tower is nearly a 10% reduction in value. To be clear, we support the responsible placement of wireless communication facilities to support our community's economy and quality of life. However, the proposed location does not meet current county land development codes and will have a negative impact on the brand new neighborhood, which is a #1 master plan community in the community, and the surrounding community members' life investments. There are many other options that can and should be considered that will provide a solution to all parties involved. We are happy to provide each of you with options and discussions with experts in this field to come up with the most responsible solution to solve any communication needs facing our community. I am requesting that the Board of County Commissioners remove the Starkey Ranch K-8 cell tower vote until the county has fully vetted and approved this project. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay, thank you. That's the last for public comment?
Yes, that is the last.
And no one from the audience wants to speak to the commission? We'll close public comment. And now we'll go to the consent agenda. We have a few items to be pulled. C15 is going to be withdrawn. C19, C36 was withdrawn. C37 withdrawn. C40 withdrawn. C41, C43, C52, C53, C7, all for pull and discuss. Are there any other changes or pulls from the consent agenda?
Did you
Move
mention
approval of all the
C43?
items left on the consent agenda.
I did. C43 was going to be pulled as well. I have a motion to approve.
Second.
And a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. So the first item we'll pull is C7. That's just a resolution. I just want to bring one point to one sentence at the very end of the resolution. Says, now therefore shall it be resolved that the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, said board proclaims May 14, 2023 as Water Reuse Week. And I'm very proud of what this commission's done over the years for reuse. It calls upon citizens and businesses to help protect our precious water resources by practicing water conservation and to use reclaimed water in an efficient and effective means. When I was first elected, we didn't have a toilet rebate program. We put that in place with Swiftmud, partnered with them, hired a group, and we started out with the private sector first. We've since opened to the commercial end of it. And I think it's probably very appropriate that there's a lot of commercial that's out there that has the high flow, high water use toilets that are out there. And I think we should put a push on from the commission, from the region, to actually go out and start looking at getting Tampa Bay Water and Swiftmud to go, maybe we should step up our enhancements, our incentives to get the private market to come forward. I think it's imperative we actually do that. So, Commissioner Oakley.
Well, in Tampa Bay Water, we have those same issues that we actually, people can sign up for and probably get qualified to have some help toward using reclaimed water for their businesses. So.
Yeah.
And Swiftmud, has a lot of programs of the same nature to save water. So it's, I had a meeting with Amber yesterday from Swiftmud, and also we talked about some signage they had put up in some areas that were using too much water down in the South Hillsborough County. Mm-hmm. And those, by people being aware of their water use, they actually had a savings of about 30% on the water use after they put the signs up. So be something to look into, but I'll look further into it.
Well, and as you gentlemen both sit on the Tempe Water Board, as well as we're looking at reuse, and I think we're doing great, and the more attention, the better.
Yep.
But I think it's also just the use itself of water will cut down water usage and provide some good benefits for us down the road too.
In Pasco County, we've done that very well for reuse water for all homes developments, asking that the developers put in those water lines for reuse. And we've done a great job in doing that. Our neighboring counties, I think Pinellas is doing some of that also, but there's an issue with pipelines. They have to move some of that water. They got too much reclaimed water in the southern part of the county, not enough, and not a way to get that additional water up to the northern part of Pinellas County. So I think they're going to be, that commission will be working on that. Hillsborough County, I think, needs to work harder at making and providing that, or for the developments to be adding on the reclaimed pipes while they're building all those new developments that are going to be using water. They need to be putting the reclaimed water in so that's available, but because they have a lot of reclaimed water and they need to be using it. So.
Very good. Okay. All right. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, for the record, we just note that Commissioner Starkey has joined the dais.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't know why they shut down 52, but before Aaron cut off.
I must have heard you were
I didn't
coming.
see any construction. There was like, I don't know, some kind of truck with a road brush. Maybe something spilled.
I drove probably just right before you, and I didn't
Nothing?
know what they were doing. They were putting down cones, and that was all I saw.
Oh, well, I got 17 minutes.
And you have no time, no way to get around it.
Yeah,
So
it's
okay.
ridiculous.
All right.
You know, there was no other way to get out of that area.
Okay. All right.
Did you want to go back to resolutions?
Looked like they
Yes,
were
I'm sorry.
mowing.
Resolutions. Sorry, we'll do resolutions. We'll get to the rest of consent. Sorry about
All
that.
right. R1.
R1. RS1.
Resolution number 23108, a resolution by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, declaring the week of May 7th through the 13th, 2023 as Pasco County Correctional Officers and Employees Week. Whereas on October 1st, 2022, Pasco County assumed all duties and responsibilities of the management and operation of the Pasco County Jail in Land O'Lakes, Florida. And whereas correctional facilities across the United States, both public and private, military and civilian, are run by highly qualified and experienced men and women with a deep understanding of the challenges and difficulties within their profession. And whereas correctional officers are highly trained professionals dedicated to maintaining secure correctional facilities and ensuring public safety for our communities, and whereas correctional officers and employees serve admirably in many different capacities, including jail administrators, supervisors, officers, and support staff, and they work in very demanding and stressful conditions, face many challenges, and put their lives at risk every day. And whereas correctional officers and employees are responsible for the custody, care, safety, security, and reform thousands of offenders every year, as well as maintenance of safe and secure facilities. And whereas correctional officers and employees guide, counsel, mentor, teach, train, treat, and assist in rehabilitation of offenders, and provide offenders with direction, guidance, and a new focus while preparing them for community reentry. And whereas correctional officers and employees rise to meet any challenge and serve this honorable profession nobly and admirably. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County in regular session, duly assembled, that said board hereby proclaims the week of May 7th through the 13th, 2023 as Pasco County Correctional Officers and Employees Week, and encourages the citizens of Pasco County to join in expressing appreciation for the hard work, extreme diligence, exceptional service, and unsurmountable dedication provided by the individuals who work in our county correctional facility. Done and resolved in regular session with a quorum present and voting, this 9th day of May, 2023.
Move approval.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Oakley.
Okay.
Whoa. Tell him he's for later on.
That must, all I can say is his name must be Oakley, that's all I. But, so he said his piece, but welcome you here from our corrections facility. Now that we're in charge of that, I appreciate each and everything all your staff does. So I know it's a task, and I think y'all have done a very good job in starting that task to become part of our premier county in Pasco County. So if you would, I'd like for you both to speak to that.
First off, on behalf of the men and women work in our county jail, I do appreciate the recognition and certainly the support of the commissioners as well as county administration. So thank you very much.
Thank you, board. I'm honored to stand up here. The men and women who serve in our correctional facility are top notch. We couldn't think of a better way to honor the chief and the staff, and your support has been, I've met with each of you individually and talked about it. You've asked what we needed. You never complained. You always said whatever you need. You know we have a recruiting issue and we're trying, and we thought this would be a good week to launch our recruiting campaign. So we left with you a copy of what you're going to drive around and see on billboards. But your support and pushing a narrative to this is a good career for our young people. It's an honorable career, and we have dedicated public servants, and we thank you for honoring them today.
Go ahead. You want to talk about your brochure you got going?
Sure. Well, the first thing that will stand out, our correctional officers right now can start making about $80,000, up to $80,000 a year with overtime. We're building this new facility. It's a great time to come on board, and the chief and her team's here, and I'd be remiss. Well, anybody who works in the correctional facility, please stand up. Will be recognized. They're our best recruiters. They're our best recruiters. Yeah. So we're just doing everything we can to get a message out to join our team. And the chief and her team have become recruiters. They've looked at the process. They've consolidated the process. So we're going to try to get people through the application process as quick as possible.
Well, we thank you for the great work you guys are doing. The transition's been done very well. Great success. A lot of extra costs we didn't expect to go, but we're going to work it through to make sure that you have your team to do what you need to do to keep those people safe. And all you team members out there, you're our recruiters, so hopefully you'll help us keep going to help you guys too. Anyone else? Commissioner Waitman.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, we're just over 180 days through this transition. So coming onto this board, it was not a subject matter that I thought that we would be essentially hands-on and managing. So I greatly appreciate both of your time in educating me as a new board member and understanding some of the challenges you all face as we go through our first year is managing our own jail. So thank you to the team in the back and your everyday team on your dedication and your leadership and your steadfast commitment to this county and providing not just service to the folks that are out in the community, but service to the folks who are visiting our jail. So thank all of you, and keep hanging tough. Keep hanging tough.
Okay, if you would, if y'all stand up there behind where you're here, and if the team members will come up, and I'll come down, we'll have a picture. So.
Okay.
You're standing up here?
Yeah, we'll stay up there. Got a good crowd in front of us.
Nails or something.
They were doing it last week.
Huh?
Last week at on the way for the funeral, the same thing was going on. And on Aaron Cutoff. Had one lane open going east and west.
That's what they do. One lane.
Am I too tall for this thing?
Yeah, get that far. Oh, hang on, one more.
Great, thank you.
Okay, so who are you gonna ask?
Thank you all very much.
They did that they did that last week as well. To him when he was coming to the funeral.
All right, RS2.
Resolution number 23109, a resolution by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, declaring the week of May 21st to the 27th, 2023, as National Public Works Week in Pasco County, and encouraging all citizens to support public works activities this week and throughout the year. Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to the public health, quality of life, and well-being of the citizens of Pasco County. And whereas these infrastructures and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of the county's public works professionals, who are engineers, managers, and employees who are responsible for rehabilitating, improving, maintaining, and protecting Pasco County's transportation network, public buildings, and stormwater infrastructure that are essential for Pasco County citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest for civic leaders, residents, and children of Pasco County to gain knowledge of and to maintain progressive interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities. And whereas efficiency of the qualified, dedicated, and talented employees who staff public works is materially influenced by their can-do attitude and an understanding of the importance of the work they perform, and whereas National Public Works Week became an educational campaign in 1960, and 2023 marks the 63rd annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association. And whereas the theme for this year's National Public Works Week is Connecting the World Through Public Works, which pays tribute to our public works professionals and recognizes the substantial contributions they make to protect our national health, safety, and quality of life. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, that said board hereby declares the week May 21 through 27, 2023 as National Public Works Week, and encourages all citizens to support public works activities this week and throughout the year. Done and resolved in regular session with the quorum present and voting this 9th day of May 2023.
A motion?
Approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, Commissioner Waitman.
Thank you. Now I'll stick on my theme of hanging tough. You guys hang tough every day. Elements, the volume of work, the requests, from potholes to you name it, they come not just from us, but from everywhere in the county. And again, we can't appreciate and underscore our appreciation. I think I can probably speak for this board, and they will too, but our appreciation for you and your team and all that you do, and to work expeditiously and try to be as timely as you can with managing the thousands of requests you probably receive monthly. And thank you guys for what you do, staying safe out there in the public. The public can be distracted these days. So for everybody who's on the street, you know, appreciate what you guys do, and for everybody who's inside, who's processing, managing, reviewing, all that goes into it. We can't thank you enough, and congratulations.
All right. Commissioner Oakley.
Yeah. Y'all do a great job. Your whole team, everybody a part of your team, each and every one of them do a very hard job at working to make things better here in Pasco County, and we certainly appreciate it. And we've got a lot of moving targets at this time because we got so much coming into the county. Everything you do is very much appreciated, and I want you to keep that with you. And even though it gets tough because it gets hectic and you got probably more jobs than you can do in one day sometimes, and just have to keep plugging away. So I certainly appreciate y'all doing all that. Thank you.
And I'd like to thank you all as well. Joseph, you were great again last night. We had a meeting out at Leisure Beach, and when things got a little confusing for some, you just stood right up there and told them what was going on, and went real well. Resiliency is a big thing coming up with the board too, so we're happy to see that you're pay attention to that too. Because we protect our public works and our infrastructure, we're going to be in better shape too. So everything you do is critical. Mr. Starkey.
And I would agree, and thank you for all you do, and work with you guys all the time, and appreciate your professionalism and your hard work and dedication to the citizens of Pasco County.
Okay. And I think, Commissioner Waitman, you should go down there. We'll stay back up in there.
Yeah, any words from Mr. Carballa? Near and dear to your heart.
I'd always love to say that, you know, Public Works gets it done. You guys, you really take care of that most basic form of infrastructure that we need every day, our roads and our flooding, and you do a phenomenal job of it. And I know so because I've worked closely with you over the years. So thank you for all that you do, and this is well deserved. So congrats. Actually,
as you mentioned that, Mike, I want you to all think about something. Years ago, we were always in the newspaper with different flooding things that were going on, et cetera. I think the satisfaction ratings last year were like 95%. So compared to where we were to where we are, your whole team dedication and making sure we get these things done, even listening to me about some ideas I may have has been great, and I think it's really working well. So thank you all very much. All right, take a picture. Come on, Mike, move quick. Let's go.
Spread out a little bit.
Gosh, we're almost even. Take off my heels here.
Ron, is he blocking you?
Thank you. One more.
Might be two more.
Three more.
All right.
All right.
All right, guys.
Thank you very much. I thought you watched her on TV. I didn't know you were
Good to see you.
RS3.
Resolution number 23-110, a resolution by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, declaring May 2023 as National Historic Preservation Month. Whereas Preservation Month began as National Preservation Week in 1973, and in 2005, the National Trust extended the celebration to the entire month of May and declared it Preservation Month to provide an even greater opportunity to celebrate the diverse and unique heritage of our country's cities and states. And whereas the first presidential preservation proclamation stated, as the pace of change accelerates in the world around us, Americans more than ever need a lively awareness of our roots and origins in the past on which to base our sense of identity in the present and our directions for the future. And whereas Pasco County continues to discover and celebrate the county's diverse cultural heritage found in irreplaceable places that hold the stories of all Americans, and whereas Pasco County recognizes the Florida Trust for Historic Preservation as a statewide preservation nonprofit that promotes the preservation and the inclusive sharing of the diverse architectural, historical, and archaeological heritage of Florida. And whereas the Florida Trust for Historic Preservation benefits historic communities like Pasco County through advocacy, connection, education, and stewardship. And whereas the theme for the 2023 Preservation on Main Street Conference, sponsored by the Florida Trust for Historic Preservation and Florida Main Street, is Exploring Our Stories. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, that said board hereby proclaims May 2023 as National Historic Preservation Month and calls upon all Pasco County residents to join their fellow citizens across the United States in recognizing and participating in this special observance. Done and resolved in regular session with a quorum present and voting this 9th day of May 2023.
Move to approve.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Starkey.
Hey, good morning, and I'm very happy to be the sponsor of this one. You know, I'm a history buff, and I just love when we're able to preserve something that tells a story about who we are and where we came from, and all those moments that brought us to where we are today. So I think we're in this. I think this courthouse is preserved. Is that correct?
Yes.
So. I'm just so glad that you're here and that we're doing this. I don't think we've done one in my 12 years or 11 years. Have we ever done a historic preservation? I think this is our first. So whoever brought this to our attention, thank you very much. Terry?
Thank you, Commissioners. And Commissioner Starkey. I have with me today the long-range planning team of the Planning and Development Department. These are the team members that are responsible for the historic preservation program here in the county. To echo your comments, Commissioner, historic preservation is important, not merely for remembering our history, our heritage, and our traditions, but because it can show us where the future can take us to. For example, as you rightly noted, we're here today in the wonderfully preserved historic county courthouse in the center of beautiful historic Dade City. And here is a remarkable example that shows us what great community resilience and community character looks like when we preserve it. And this is what we aspire for our future as a county as well, standing on such shoulders, such as what we see here in our historic communities in Pasco County.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Oakley.
Yeah. I didn't know, how does this actually fall under the planning department on this item? So it's the preservation throughout the county, or?
When someone applies, do they go through you?
That's right.
Okay.
Oh, and that's how they apply? Okay.
They
So I didn't know that, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, me
They
either.
go through a certificate of appropriateness process through our department to preserve archaeological sites as well as some of the historic sites across the county.
Right.
Okay.
That's very good.
Well, thank you very much.
Appreciate all you do for the preservation of this county, so that's great. Thank you.
We'll stay up here.
How many properties in the county are on the, do we know that? Yeah. 10. Who can list the 10? I don't think I'm having enough. Okay, go.
Oh, perfect.
You didn't want to keep one?
Great, thank you.
Can you all make a 10? Anyone here? All right. There's one in my district, I think, at the, where the library is. There's an house. There's another house. Like the Olsen Mound. Olsen Mound, yes. All right. Y'all, you know that's right. Y'all need an education, obviously.
Now, RS4, this is Commissioner Bradford's item. So Todd and Paul, if you would, come on up.
Resolution number 23111, a resolution by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, declaring May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day and the week of May 15th through the May 21st as Police Officer Week in Pasco County. Whereas in 1962, President John F. Kennedy signed Public Law 87-726, 36 U.S.C. 136, which authorized the President to proclaim May 15th of every year as Peace Officer Memorial Day, in honor of the federal, state, and local officers who have been killed, disabled, or otherwise injured in the line of duty. This resolution also authorized the President to designate the week in which Peace Officer Memorial Day falls as National Police Week. And whereas all federal, state, and local police officers, sheriffs, and other law enforcement officers across the United States serve with valor, dignity, and integrity. And whereas among their many duties, law enforcement officers are charged with pursuing justice for all individuals and always acting with fidelity to the constitutional and civil rights of the public. And whereas for generations, brave men and women throughout Pasco County have answered the call to serve and protect our communities. Our law enforcement officers embody the courage and honor that represent the best of Pasco County. And whereas in moments of danger and desperation, the first people we turn to are law enforcement officers. These often unsung heroes risk their lives so that we can live in peace and security. And whereas law enforcement officers endure long shifts in dangerous and unpredictable circumstances. However, our law enforcement officers demonstrate remarkable self-control while operating under extreme pressure. Above all, Pasco County law enforcement officers maintain the highest levels of professionalism. And whereas law enforcement officers often navigate complex, challenging situations while being exposed to some of the worst scenarios anyone could dare to imagine, scenarios to which most citizens have the privilege of turning a blind eye. And whereas we all owe respect and gratitude to all of Pasco County's law enforcement, these men and women work tirelessly to protect us while putting their lives on the line to maintain and defend civil order in our community. And whereas law enforcement officers who wear the badge are selfless public servants who put themselves in harm's way to keep us safe and deserve our support and appreciation. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, that said board hereby proclaims May 15th as Peace Officer Memorial Day and the week of May 15th through the 21st as Police Week in Pasco County. Done and resolved in regular session with a quorum present and voting this 9th day of May, 2023.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And Sheriff, I apologize, I should have called you guys up as well, but it's unusual not having a commissioner here and want to bring up Todd and Paula to do it, so sorry for that. Todd, Paula?
Very good. Good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. I'm Todd Pillars, Legislative Assistant to Commissioner Gary Bradford, District 4. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to today's board meeting. And if there's one board meeting that Commissioner Bradford is unhappy about being absent, it is today. As a 25-year Tampa PD veteran and ardent supporter of firefighters, law enforcement, and all first responders, Commissioner Bradford wishes he was here, as he is honored to put forth this resolution to recognize Police Week in Pasco County. Police Week is a time when we come together to commemorate the brave men and women who have lost their lives in the line of duty. We honor their dedication and commitment to serve and protect their communities. We also take time to recognize the sacrifices made by the families of fallen officers. The loss of a loved one is never easy, and the surviving spouses and family members deserve our support and our gratitude. Police Week is not just about honoring the past. It is about embracing the present and looking towards the future. It is a time to show our appreciation for the work that law enforcement officers do every day to keep us safe. It is Commissioner Bradford's hope that today's resolution is seen as a sign that we've come together as a community to support our local law enforcement agencies and to pay our respects for those that have paid the ultimate price. It's been an emotional lead up to today with the memorial service for firefighter Jason Tucker a week ago on the west side and the Pasco Law Enforcement Memorial Day being held right here on the front lawn this last Friday. But Commissioner Bradford insisted that Paula Cernigliero and I be here today to personally recognize Sheriff Nacco and his deputies, Chief Walters, Chief Cochin, Chief Robinson, Chief Brewer, and all their sworn police officers for their willingness to put their lives on the line while serving and protecting the citizens of Pasco County. And throughout this week, if you're inclined to say a prayer for our peace officers and their family, I ask that you also say a prayer for healing for Commissioner Bradford. Rest assured, he is itching to get back to work serving the citizens of Pasco County and continue to support our first responder community. We wish him a speedy recovery. Thank you.
Thank you. And Sheriff?
We'll be safe if you come up close.
Yeah, we like to see the bailiff always here.
On behalf of all the women, men, canines in the Pasco Sheriff's Office, we want to say thank you very much. It's always great to be recognized for the board.
Horses?
Horses, yes. Oh, yeah, you're right. We got horses, yes. And horses. And so it's always great to be recognized by the board. As you know, every year when the survey goes out by citizens, public safety is always the #1 concern by far. And so we want to thank you for the concern. I want to thank, besides the members that are here today, Commissioner Bradford, I hope he's watching at home right now. Thank you guys very much.
I just texted him.
And so it's one of those things that, as we go forward as a county, working together is always very well. Us, the law enforcement bureaus, everybody working together, joining with the county on the communication center will be a great move forward. I know many cities are moving forward with that. But I want to thank you for bringing on board J.J. Murphy too. Because I say bringing those partnerships together really lock arms. And so having Octa now for public safety has really helped us out to communicate and work better together. I know you got J.P. Murphy, I always get the two, say Murphy, but J.P.'s doing a great job too in for permitting. But I want to say thank you very much on behalf of every woman and men, and especially our families. I will say this, you talk about recruiting. It's women and men want to still, especially in Florida, and especially here in Pasco County, they still want to get into law enforcement. You hear people say they want to do it. What you often hear behind the scenes is they say, I really want to do it, but my family said, I'm not sure. They see what goes on nationally, they see what happens, but when they know they have the support in the community, the family is more likely to say, yes, you can join. And I can tell you right now, that's probably the hardest thing that all law enforcement agencies deal with. But to live in a community where they know they have the full backing of our citizens and the commission, that means so much to them. So that being said, thank you very much. And you talk about pray for Commissioner Bradford. And as Commissioner Bradford would always want to say too, pray for all the women and men that are out there in our families. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else from your team? Commissioner Roker.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
I certainly, here we
Chief,
go.
come on up, yeah.
We're welcome this.
Chief Robinson, Port Richey Police Department. On behalf of the men and women of the Port Richey Police Department, we'd like to thank the commission and especially Commissioner Bradford, wishing for his full and speedy recovery. We appreciate this recognition. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Roker.
Okay, man, everywhere I go, I see the sheriff's people out on the streets or wherever I go. I certainly appreciate their service and what they do for the citizens of Pasco County. Not just the sheriff's office, but all the cities that have their officers too. They're looking after our way of life here, and we've got a good life here in Pasco County. And I think we're probably one of the safer counties around, to be honest with you. We have issues, but those are taken care of in a very speedy fashion and done very nicely, where we have the best of the best here in Pasco County. And I appreciate all of you, what you do. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Waitman.
Thank you. More than just in policing and keeping us safe, I'm very grateful to have the relationship that our office has with really each department we have here, because when I go to make a policy decision, I really try to look through the whole picture and the whole scope of what the project means, not just how it impacts public works, everything that goes into a project. I really appreciate the input that you all give to our offices and helping us come to the right decision. That way we can take care of the folks, if it's folks coming in or the businesses that are coming in. And also appreciate the willingness to participate in the future planning of our county, and Sheriff, allowing your team to join us on, as we identify, what we're going to look like in the next 50 years. So I appreciate everybody's input, and, just being a part of all our communities with the downtown First Fridays with Dade City and the involvement there, everything that's going on in West Pasco and the boat runs and the poker runs and keeping everybody safe and having a great time. We recognize that and we appreciate y'all very much.
Mr. Starkey.
Yeah, and I would echo my fellow commissioners, and it's great to see all the different law enforcement offices represented here today. Sheriff, when you were speaking and talking about recruitment, it made me wonder if you guys how you guys recruit. Maybe you have enough interest here locally. I know we're looking at going for a broader recruitment for our corrections office, and I wonder, are you recruiting in Detroit in December, or maybe we join forces on recruiting? What?
So, Commissioner, yes, we don't, not Detroit, but what we do, we'll go to Detroit, we'll go wherever, but the nice
northern
thing,
town.
yeah, we'll go. I mean, that's the thing. So, what our big thing for our push of recruiting is, we go out there and we try to, by word of mouth, because a lot of law enforcement don't know each other. We're very blessed. So when we have our new member orientation, I'll ask, where are you from, and they'll, oh, this, and who was prior military, a lot of prior military. So we recruit a lot from the military. A lot of veterans come in. It's interesting when you hear from prior law enforcement who came from different parts of the country. And so what happens is they said, I wanted to get out from where I came from, somewhere up north usually. It's not even, sometimes they'll mention about the weather. The vast majority of the time it's the climate they're in. Not weather climate, but the political climate. And so they're tired of it, they're fed up by it. And they said, hey, we recognize what went on, we see what goes on in Pasco, we looked up the agency, we like what's happening here. So that's the thing. But we do have recruiting teams, and actually what our recruiting teams do is we go out to colleges. So we go to a lot of historical black colleges. And we go to Bethune-Cookman, FAMU. Even within the state of Florida, we go to different universities. And then we go to military academies that where military academies, not the Naval Academy or Air Force because they have a commitment afterwards, but military academies where these individuals say, hey, I was thinking about, I want to get into a career of service. It may not be law enforcement, but, it may not be the military, but it may be law enforcement. Okay. So we actually go to different universities because what we're trying to do is get them early, and then the next path, what we're trying to do is implement within our own county our explorers. And so that's the nice thing. We have a great explorer program. They do a phenomenal job bringing these kids up. But basically when they hit 18, 19 years old, there's a gap before they can go into law enforcement. We bring them in. So what we're trying to do is fill that gap this year to say, hey, let's keep them through this pipeline because we don't want to lose an explorer, somebody who's done a phenomenal job, and then they go off somewhere else. We want to keep them in that pipeline, keep them excited about the sheriff's office, and then they do a couple of years in a non-sworn role, and then we're able to keep them, then we're able to put them through the academy and then hire them forward.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Commissioner Stark, you bring up a good idea, I think. And Sheriff, what do you think if we looked at trying to work with our first responders from, let's say, fire, EMS that we have, work with our jails, corrections, and looking for deputies as well, and try to put a joint flyer out there. Now you get a flyer that has 4 branches, they all take a look, and it shows United Force that the commission and the sheriff's office working together to try to protect our citizens.
So it's interesting, the other day, myself and J.J. Murphy were talking along with Colonel Harrington, and we were talking about recruiting very briefly, and so, as you know, he's an Air Force veteran. So one thing that clicks with fire rescue is pararescue. Fire rescuemen, that's what they do. They save lives. They go in there in a non-combat, well, they go in combat roles, but they go in there to rescue people. So that's one thing. We're more than happy. We have a plan in place where we go out and we recruit. We have a strong connection with the military, and especially for paramedics, for people with a medical background, that crossover to fire rescue is very easy. Yeah. And so, we're more than happy to partner. And that's the good thing about having an OPCO over public safety. It makes things much easier to get things done.
Let's do it.
Well, okay. Great idea, Mr. Carbello, for bringing that in. JJ. So let's start this together, and let's all go down, take a picture together. It's a little crowded, but I think we should all do it together. And JJ, if you would, Mike.
We really have a very short arm. Maybe I'll just text the secretary.
RS5. I see Adam Thomas out there.
Oh, we did.
Come on up.
Resolution 5, or resolution number 23114, resolution by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, declaring the week of May 7th to the 13th, 2023 as Travel and Tourism Week in Pasco County. Whereas, established in 1983 by a congressional resolution, National Travel and Tourism Week is an annual tradition during May where the U.S. travel community celebrates the value travel holds for our economy, businesses, and personal well-being. And whereas tourism is Florida's top economic driver, awareness of the tourism industry's integral role in Florida's economy success will encourage promotion of tourism activities and continue to increase the number of visitors to the state and to Pasco County. And whereas Experience Florida's Sports Coast, Pasco County's destination management organization, works hard year-round with industry partners to promote great reasons for visitors to come to Pasco County for sports, leisure, and business activities. And whereas in fiscal year 2022, visitors to Pasco County had an economic impact of over $900 million, including over $363 million in direct spending by just under 1.5 million visitors. Visitors spending in 2022 saved each Pasco household $384 in state and local taxes. And whereas in fiscal year 2022, tourism industry supported 11,403 jobs in Pasco County, generating $288,220,700 in wages and salaries. And whereas on May 12, 2023, Experience Florida's Sports Coast will celebrate Travel and Tourism Week by hosting their annual awards dinner, recognized by those who take a leading role in the tourism industry in Pasco County, with keynote speech by National Football League Hall of Fame inductee Rodney Barber. Now, therefore, be it resolved by Pasco County Commissioners, the County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, that said board hereby proclaims May 7th to the 13th, 2023 as Travel and Tourism Week, and urge all citizens to recognize the importance of this vital industry to our area. Done and resolved in regular session with a quorum present and voting this 9th day of May, 2023.
The motion.
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right. Adam, congratulations. Looking forward to Friday's tourism banquet. To get Rondé Barber, I think, is phenomenal. Probably made the best interception in the history of the Bucks when he took out the Eagles just in the pregame for the conference championship. But to have him honored as a Hall of Famer, timing's beautiful. I think it'd be great to be able to talk about the scalloping that you and I and we'll say Representative Maggart helped out quite a bit in getting that done. It's going to benefit citizens all over the county and bring in a whole bunch of tourists as well.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chairman Mariano, and good morning, fellow commissioners. Thank you so much for sponsoring this resolution. You know, travel, as we celebrate National Travel and Tourism Week, I'm reminded that travel connects us, that inspires us. It fuels our creativity. It opens our eyes to how others live. It celebrates food and encourages us to try new things.
You know, travel sheds lights on our amazing planet. It opens up our ears to hear different sounds of music throughout the world. What inspires us and makes us happy. Travel is the power of human connection. That connection is transformative. It drives understanding, creates a shared sense of purpose, enhances our well-being, and takes us to new heights. That is the heartbeat of what we do at Florida Sports Coast, and we're honored to be here today to celebrate the National Travel and Tourism Week, not only for Pasco County, not only for the state, but the entire U.S. market. So thank you, Commissioner Mariano.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Waitman.
Thank you. Adam, I appreciate y'all a couple weeks ago, a month ago, lose track of time, came in and just kind of brainstorming with each one of our offices. I mean, we have such a unique county from interior east to our coastline. We actually still have some affordable Gulf Coast properties, you know, around. And you guys have such an amazing canvas to work with and to promote a place that I've called home a long time and is very special to me. And appreciate the creativity that you guys bring to the Florida Sports Coast. And all I say is keep thinking big, and excited to support what you guys do and make Pasco a fun place to live and visit. So good work.
Thank you, sir.
Commissioner Oakley.
Yep. Adam, thank you for all you've done in the past and looking into the future, all you're going to do for us in the future. So you've got a big task at hand, and you can believe that we're going to be in support of you all the way. So
thanks, sir.
Make sure we have the right things happening in beautiful Pasco County, and especially in the sports issues, and all our citizens are looking for greater things. So thank you for all you do and your team.
Thank you.
Commissioner Starkey.
So Adam and I just returned from a trip. Adam a day earlier, but I want to thank you for having the faith to go and take time away from your family and to get on a bike, because you said, what'd you say, you hadn't been on a bike for how long?
I haven't owned a bike since I was 12 years old.
Yeah. So
I was too busy playing baseball.
We got Adam on a bike. I suggested an electric, pedal assist for the hills that we were on, but he powered up those hills. I really look forward to giving you a report of our trip to Bentonville, where a bunch of us went the last few days. So it was eye-opening for me, and I hope you understand you already talked to maybe Ms. Pearson a little bit or someone.
Yes, ma'am.
Keith told me, so we'll put together a little report and share it with you all, but it was fascinating.
They're doing some great things in Bentonville, and they're really they really have a niche market, and they're really owning that market, and it's inspiring for what they're doing on the leisure and family aspect of their city, how it's all coming together. You have economic development councils, you have nonprofits, trail builders, you have the DMO all coming together for one common goal and one common vision. So it's inspiring to see.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Okay. Mike.
Yeah, I just want to say, Adam, tourism is the lifeblood of the state, and my wife and I, we travel extensively. We go to a lot of different places, but the work that you guys have done here has been phenomenal. Our numbers, continue to track up and in the right direction, and it always just amazes me. You take your local town sometimes for granted a little bit, and the fact that people want to come here, to where we live, to visit on their vacation is just phenomenal. So just thank you for all the efforts that you guys have put forward on that.
Thank you.
And Kathy, thank you for bringing Adam in. Okay. All right, we can take a picture or bring out? Okay. go back to the consent agenda.
C19.
C19.
I believe on this was a corrected item. Is that correct, Mr. Farrell?
C19 was pull and discuss, I believe. Commissioner wanted to, the Resilient Pasco project?
Yes, so we just had the summit with the Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council, and a resiliency coordinator was a big part of what the future is with the governor's executive order, so I just wanted to highlight this as a great step forward. Mike, thanks for making the step, and as we push this forward, it is a big thing to get it done as quick as we can, negotiate, get through, and start this process, so thank you for doing it. As being our county administrator, I want to say that I really appreciate how you listen to the commission as far as what our goals are, what our push is, and understanding that, you know, this Resilient Pasco project is a big thing for us to try to get grants, et cetera. So it's a big step we needed to make. So thanks for making it happen.
No, you're welcome, and all credit to the team here pushing a lot of things forward on resiliency. It's an emergency. It's an emerging issue that's important to this county, and you know, there's a lot of money to help us fix a lot of problems, and so we're anxious to get going.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We'll go to C36 is withdrawn, 37 is withdrawn. C41, Mr. Seinstein.
I can handle it if you want me to. This is the First Amendment to the interlocal agreement between Pasco County and Pasco Sheriff related to transfer of the detention facility. There was a issue with the signature block and the date, which has been corrected, and it's before you.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. And I'm good with C43. Have a motion to approve?
Move approved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And C52.
Good morning, Commissioners. Christina Cordone, Assistant Director of Parks, Recreation, and Natural Resources. This is to correct the Commission District. Instead of being District 1 and 3, it's District 2 and 3.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, and before I would just want to say this is a fantastic project. This is the hockey rinks we have out there, as well as the tennis courts, that getting lighting in there, which is going to be great for the area. We're going to get a letter to Mr. Vinnick and the Lightning and let him know what we're doing to further enhance the project, because it's been so well received. All in favor, say aye.
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 And C53.
It's also to correct the Commission District from District 1 to District 2.
Move to approve.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. And C7 we already dealt with. And that's it for the consent agenda. And Christina, thanks for the great job you're doing. We appreciate you. Okay. R55, Confirmation of Public Works Director Jason Mickle.
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. Branford Adumo, Assistant County Administrator. I'm pleased to recommend your confirmation of the appointment of Jason M. Mickle as our next Public Works Director. Jason has more than 20 years of experience managing operations and programs and leading people. He holds a master's degree in environmental management and a bachelor's degree in environmental science. Jason did extremely well during his interview for the position and demonstrated his readiness to take on the Public Works Director position. Of course, Jason is no stranger, as he is currently a member of our Public Infrastructure Branch leadership team. I'm confident his talent and experience will make an excellent addition to the Public Works team. Now, Jason will step forward to say a few words and answer any questions. Jason?
All right, good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Just real quick, thanks to Branford and Mike having the trust and confidence in me to do this position. I just want to thank them both for that. First, I want to say, don't let my New Jersey accent fool you. I've lived in this area for over 30 years. I moved here when I was 19 years old. I've done college here, as Branford mentioned, and I've spent my life here in public service. So I've spent over 24 years various agencies in public service, actually living the culture that the county is known for. I've spent time with our community, actually our citizens and our customers, trying to provide a better future. I think if you look back at my last 5 years, I spent them here in Pasco County. And we really do live the idea of people, purpose, and performance in the county. In our branch and within utilities, we have some of the best people I've ever worked with in my entire career. The utility team is an excellent team, and I really look forward to leading and being part of the Public Works team that you just had here a few minutes ago, and honored them through a resolution in Public Works Week. So with that said, if you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Starkey.
I just want to say I've worked with Jason for many years because he was with Swiftmud when I was on the Swiftmud board. So we go back a long ways, and I'm really excited to have you take this position, and I would move for approval.
Thank you.
Need a second.
Second.
All right. Any other questions, discussion? No?
Congrats.
All right, I want to say, Jason, I am excited to have you come in. I think it's great that you're, as a county Pasco employee, moving up to the ranks. It's what we want to do, is grow great talent and let them thrive, and for you to be able to move up to this position is great. Your record with Pasco is phenomenal. Your background with Swiftmud is tremendous. And as we talked right before the meeting started, I was really intrigued by the Hillsborough County, because as Pasco County is going to go in the future trying to be more resilient, working with those baffle boxes and litter traps, where we got 2 grants, one from NOAA from $740 grand to another one for $8 million working with the estuary and Regional Planning Council. He's got direct experience in the baffle box realm. And I think with the litter traps as well, he'll be able to guide us, lead us, and hopefully bring a whole bunch of grant money as well, and we can work on doing some great things together. So I can't tell you how excited I am to have you come on board. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Unanimous. Welcome aboard. Congratulations. Okay, we'll go to committee reports. Commissioner Oakley.
Oh, wait, yeah. I got several this week. Since I added an assistant, the ladies have figured out that I need to be working 6 days a week instead of just four, I think. But I thought this was a part-time job, but it's proven. So first thing on the list is we all attended the service for Jason Tucker, following officer from the firefighters. And I'll tell you what, the presence of all the firefighters and their brotherhood at this service really shows a lot of support for the families and all involved in our firefighters, fire rescue. So you got to be very thankful for that. The next item, on Saturday, April 29th, I attended the Tunnel to Towers Let Us Do Good Village Home dedication ceremony for Sergeant Sua, and I'm not going to pronounce his last name because I'm from East Pasco County and I can't pronounce that name. But if it was Smith or something, that'd be good. But great individuals here. The gentleman with the blue shirt in that last picture, this one on the left, he was in charge of the building of that home. Very nice home, very well built for use of wheelchairs and those uses. You ever seen I think go to the next picture, if you'll see, well, here we go, see the cooktop on the right? If you'll notice, it's down from the counter on the left-hand side and the right-hand side. That moves up and down.
Wow.
So the person in the wheelchair can cook himself, and this gentleman has a wife that can cook for him too, and they raise it up to normal level. But that plus is, and this is a shower on the left. There's also a bench that'll be added to that shower that he'll be able to come out of his wheelchair onto the bench and then be able to shower. So the floor levels are It's dropped down a little bit, but it slopes down, so it's easy moving into the shower and out. So, and next pictures, if you have any more. Okay, here we are with the Pasco Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Service was held at the Historic Courthouse last May 5th. And there's a picture of it there. Very well attended ceremony, and the Sheriff's Office did a very good job, and they do every year in this Fallen Officer Memorial. The fact of it is, the memorial out on the corner of 7th and Meridian there will be finished for next year's memorial. So we'll have that ready to go at that time. So it'll be ready before that, but they'll be able to use that particular area. So, and then they had a ribbon cutting of Zephyr Hills Veterans Clinic on Saturday, May 6th. And there's pictures of that. It's, they had, within the last month, I think they cut the ribbon on the Veterans Clinic over on the west side. And now we did this one on this side in Zephyr Hills. Very well attended, probably a couple hundred people there, and very nice ceremony they had there. We got to give thanks for all that we're doing in our hospital. In our hospitals, they came up with, you had Advent Health out at Bruce B. Downs, and then you see Baycare came up across the street. And I sit on the Advent Health Foundation board. They're concerned about the other hospital right across the street. It's the best of all worlds for us, because I'm going to tell you, both those hospitals being across the street and the work they're going to do to be the very best in this county, the recipient of all that work and all that striving to be the best hospital and best care that we can get is our citizens of Pasco County. So you can't be more thankful for all the hospitals we've got, and now we've got 2 new VA clinics that will actually serve. Well, right now we have, I think, a little over 49,000 veterans in Pasco County, and it's continuing to grow because as more people move in, more veterans are coming to Pasco County. So certainly appreciate all that they do. So that'll be all.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Waitman.
Thank you. First, just Todd and Paula know that Commissioner Bradford, and if he's listening, he and his family are in my family's prayers and in our team's prayers. And just holler if y'all need anything. My team's here to support your team, and I think same with this board, so hang tough. Obviously, last week was a bit of an emotional week, and attended firefighter Jason Tucker's funeral service, and it was good to see the support there for his wife and his son and his fellow firefighters. And just saw the Rotary Club of Wesley Chapel out there handing out water, and special thanks to Chris Casella and Jenny Yingling for making sure folks have something cool to drink as people were coming in and out. We also had the National Day of Prayer here at the Historic Courthouse. And we did it bright and early in the morning. We tend to try to do things a little earlier here on the east side of the county. And I want to thank Monty Monteith and all the pastors and the churches that were involved. And it was an honor to read the proclamation and share a little story and pray with everyone in the morning. We also had on Saturday, same as the VA clinic, and Commissioner Oakley brought this up too. We had a Homes for Our Troops, a kickoff party for Master Sergeant Chris Blavelt and his wife Bernadette. They have 5 kids. And Homes for Our Troops, they're a unique organization. They, was 90% of every dollar raised goes straight to the homes. They don't do any advertising. They're not a big public organization, but a key issue here is the recipient of the home, and Chris is right there in the middle in the blue shirt, and the gentleman next to him is also a home recipient, is the recipient gets to choose where they want to live. And Chris and his family chose Wesley Chapel off Old Pasco Road for many reasons. His wife wants to start her business here. She's got a business existing. And they also looked at the healthcare component in Pasco County. They recognize the VA clinics in the east and west side of the county. They recognize Advent Health in Wesley Chapel and in Zephyr Hills and Dade City. And they recognize Baycare that's coming in, and read an article about, you know, Orlando Health. And due to the nature of Chris's issues here, they chose to come here and build a new life and a home, and they chose Pasco County, which is really exciting because they see a future. They see quality life in our county. And so that was really, really great to see. And an interesting point when Commissioner Oakley brought up in the showers in these homes for our veterans here is the shower. And a big emphasis was made on the showers. The ability for the person that has the issue to shower comfortably. And that's what kind of was the theme of the story, is to have a space to clean yourself and get proper in a safe way. So these homes that are built are very uniquely done and done with the utmost quality and care. So excited to welcome the Blavelts to Pasco County here soon. I'll keep everybody posted when we have the official home dedication, and hope everybody will join us. We also did a tour with Mike Fasano, our tax collector, and our Chief Deputy, Tim Hewitt. Tell you what, you talk about morale in his office, and the energy that he keeps flowing throughout the day in his office is second to none. And the energy that he brings to the customer, even though folks are coming in there and paying Uncle Sam, they're not unhappy seemingly to come in and pay their taxes. So it's a great job that they're doing over there in meeting his team, and very grateful that they spent some time with us. Also on consent, we had a resolution for a child care provider appreciation day. We didn't read it into record, but it's for Steve Noble and the Early Learning Coalition, and appreciate all they do for our community. And Pasco will have a seat on the board next year, but I appreciate the board's support in providing a resolution for them. And that's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Starkey.
Yeah, I have a couple things I want to go over with you guys. One is about the TIF, and Seth may not even know what that is yet, but I wanted to put up, I recently found this out, last week. I've been wondering what the heck happened, what happened. So I pre-warned the county administrator that I wanted to have this discussion here today. But if you could put up the map that looks like this, that was emailed to you. And then there's a bigger one. And I only know what happened in my area, and a little bit of, I guess it's Commissioner Waitman's. There may be others in your districts. But I can tell you that in my district, I've been wondering when we were going to widen Trinity Boulevard. And this is the CIP from, does it have the date on here? I think it's 21. And you see that Trinity Boulevard was set to be designed in 2022-23 and constructed in, well, that's the light. Wait a minute. Let's see here. Designed in 2021 and constructed in 22-23, widening. No, that's not right either. Here's the red one. If you could put the arrow on that red, it says Trinity Boulevard widening, Little Road to State Road 54. Design FY 22-23, construction 24-25. And I think if you would look on the CIP now, I don't even think it's there. Same with Little Road. And you, Little Road here, let's see if the date's on here. Widening, here. You can see here it says widening in green on the left. It was supposed to be done in 22-23, gone from our CIP. And the other one I understand is gone is Collier Parkway widening. So I don't remember ever voting on that. And so I asked for what's the history on this, because I've been people are always asking me in Trinity, when are we widening Trinity Boulevard? It's a 2-lane road. That's the way out of Pasco County, and for a lot of the county, you go down Trinity to Eastlake, you're sitting at that light for maybe 6 cycles. So apparently, we did something with the TIF a number of years ago, and so I'll go ahead and have you explain to the board what was explained to me and how I think we're going to change things going forward on how we decide how we're going to fund local roads.
Yeah, I think I'll talk at a high level on this. With regards to the TIF, there was a change that was made maybe a year or two ago under the previous administrator to essentially free up more money, right? When you put a TIF over a certain set of properties, I think it was at 33%, that is money that is going to this TIF, which is set aside for transportation issues. So it funds public works, it funds a portion of the transportation program, and it also funds public transportation, i.e. our buses. And so what was happening was that TIF was growing at a faster clip. There was a recognition that was taking away general revenue because it all competes. So what was done was it was adjusted. The TIF, the intention of the TIF portion of the transportation capital program was to subsidize the mobility fee, right? So if you provide a mobility fee discount, there's, whatever, mobility fees are supposed to be $10,000 and mobility fees are assessed at $8,000 for a project, the TIF would subsidize that additional $2,000. So we went back and we based it on a 2018 study to kind of right-size the TIF to be in line with that. Now that was a 2018 study. We've seen where prices and things have gone. So I predicate that to say that the reason that the adjustment was made was to free up additional general revenue and not tie it up unnecessarily in other programs. So I think that was a good thing. Where I think that we have probably need to do a better job of is explaining to the board, how prioritization of projects work through the MPO, how that feeds into the long-range transportation plan, because the LRTP, which is what you're showing up there, is a 15-year plan of what we presume our transportation needs are going to be, and we set a schedule with that. Then that funnels into the CIP, which is actually what gets funded, and that is a complicated formula because there are probably about 15 or 20 different funding sources that our team has to use to literally cobble together funding for certain projects. Some of those are mobility fees, some of them are TIF, others are penny for Pasco, and so on. And they're broken down and restricted by districts. So there's a lot of rules in play. And so sometimes when projects, there's other priorities that come forward that need to get handled. We had some opportunities with Sun Lake Boulevard and other projects throughout the county. And I think the bottom line up front with this, Commissioner, is that we need to be a little more transparent in how this goes forward and share with the board on that. And so I'm committed to working with our team to ensure that happens.
And I think when we made the change, we thought we had enough money to do the projects.
Yeah.
That were in place without changing
And
it.
now we don't.
That's how it was laid to us, right?
That's how it's laid to us. The delta would cover, the rising value of the 30% would cover these road projects. Well, it didn't.
Yeah.
And now where are we?
And I'll tell you, Commissioner Starkey, I've got a project I've got a sidewalk trail at 5A. We did the Woodbine section, probably finished it 5 years ago. The section was supposed to be taken all the way from there, past the library, past the hospital, crossing 19, and that project got delayed, it looks like at least a year. And right now, the sidewalk that's out there has got barricades all over it because they're not done, because we're away. So it's something that needs to be looked at. I'm okay to bring it back up and let's go bring it forward. What does it take, Mike, to bring this thing back to us to take a look at? Obviously, it won't happen this year, but for next year.
Let me get back to you on that. Okay. I really want to sit down and have some discussions. There's like I said, there's a bunch of different moving parts as part of this.
Ultimately, it would take an ordinance amendment if they want to go back to a higher percentage than is in
correct.
Mr. Stark.
I agree with that, but I want to say, I would prefer that these decisions not be made administratively, but that we know what's going on. And I know we talked about that, that's kind of what he's saying, but so now I have no idea what the plan is for any of these roads with relief. And there's some big projects that I can't talk about that are trying to come to the Trinity West Pasco area that on the tourism side of things. And you know, we're a little hamstrung because, you know, there's going to be traffic studies and I can't even tell them when the road's going to be widened. And I think Commissioner Waitman had his hand up.
Commissioner Waitman.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. You beat me to it. I appreciate a board item on this subject matter because there's one road in particular that I'm trying to understand what the future of it is, and it ties into 52. It's Aaron Cutoff. And with projects that are coming in on the 52 north side of 52, Aaron Cutoff is just going to become busier and busier, and it's down there's something going on Aaron Cutoff. It was one lane last week, and 52 was one lane, and it literally choked east-west traffic getting across town. And seeing some of the projects on the horizon, I want to understand that particular area of our world in traffic flow or improvemements to roads that were not necessarily, that are becoming more and more main thoroughfares. So thank you, Commissioner Starkey, for bringing this up, and thank you, Chair. I agree with the Chair for it.
Mr. Chairman.
Hang on one second. County Attorney.
Ultimately, you approve all of these projects or the deletion of these projects when you approve your capital improvements budget each year. Now, do you have enough detail to know what was happening?
No.
But that's ultimately that's the decision point, is when the capital improvements program comes to you during your budget process.
Yeah.
There should be disclosure of what's being added to the list and what's coming off of the list.
And something, Mr. Chairman.
Yep.
And I hope Gary's back home listening as well, and for Seth. When we give mobility fee credits, we take away from our ability to build some of this road network. And the last time we had a mobility fee study, and I see David sitting out there, I was saying we're giving away $4,000 or $5,000 per hotel room on mobility fee credits. And I think that's a lot. And I think we may need to revisit these credits we're handing out, because I think that the economy is here and people are building here. And I don't think we need to be giving away the store. And I said that last time, I'm going to say it again, because what we're doing is not taking care of our local transportation when we give away so many mobility fee credits. And we need to look, it's time to revisit that again, in my opinion.
Commissioner Oakley.
I became aware of some of the roads that I wasn't aware of before, and it fits right in here where you're talking about. When we do the extension of Ridge Road on to 41 and then across 41 into Connerton, we actually carry that to a new ending point that will be the new route of Aaron Cutoff that comes, that's short of Aaron Cutoff right now, I believe. It could be past it, but I think it's just short of where Aaron Cutoff sits today.
Correct. That
there's going to be a new route in there, but I didn't realize that before, but I did after I heard some conversations. I think it was yesterday and all, but those are things we don't see sometimes or don't remember, and these are things we've approved or fellow commissioners prior to us had approved that are coming forward. So it's good to know that those kind of things, and I think we need to also pay attention to what's happening to these roads in the future that we have. And revisiting the mobility fee schedule and all, I think is a good time, because if we're not careful, we've been told in MPO that if you take away monies from some area to speed up a road in another area, you might be taking away from a road you won't fix down the road, and you won't have enough credits or enough money to take care of that new road on further. So it's kind of confusing, but yet we've been told that in MPO several times. Be careful how you prioritize, because if you start pushing roads ahead of what's really ready to be paid for, just like State Road 52, I think within 24, it's going to start, because it's now paid for the 4-laning of that development, if I'm not mistaken. And that is going to be coming forward, and we've got to make sure we don't prioritize something ahead of that, because the monies for 52 are sitting there waiting. It's been funded through FDOT.
And there's different pots of money.
Yeah.
But certainly, I think we should spend more time talking about it.
Yeah,
Commissioner Waitman has his hand up.
Yeah, Commissioner Waitman.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I agree with Commissioner Starkey's point about the fee schedule. It's time that the giveaways shrink up a bit. Pasco's on the map. People are coming here. People are using very smart technology to say, hey, we're going to focus here. We want to do business here from all over the United States and other places. So I think it's time that we tighten up a bit and really understand these incentive packages that we provide. And, you know, we're competitive now. So thank you, Commissioner Starkey, again for bringing this up.
Well, if I could, I want you to keep in mind with the benefit of hotels when they come in, they bring people that are going to spend money in the community. It's a big plus. They don't put any demand on schools. They don't put any demand on a lot of services that you normally would get. And they're going to bring money to the area.
But you could cut that mobility fee in half.
But let me if I could, let me continue. When I look at like the west side, you can look at some hotels that we have there, that were there, and guess what they are now? They're like homeless shelters. Yep. They're converted. They're not doing anything for the economy. And for me to say, if I get anyone to want to bring a hotel in that area, like we had a bunch of them that come in a few years back, I want to bring all the hoteliers I can in there, because they're going to help the economy every step of the way. You know, we did away with the apartment thing a while ago. We changed as far as residential goes. But I want you to be very careful when you look at where you want to cut back. As far as the, you know, putting in certain roads, I mean, Hicks Road to Denton would connect the park, would connect the health center, connect the area a lot better. Road's never going to get built unless we designate money. This board, I think, made a good move, even though the project fell through, to go take the mobility fees to get that road done. We're going to have a hearing on a project in Meadow Oaks, so we heard last time. I've got a road I can't get connected, and I can't seem to make it happen. I mean, we need those cross sections, like you said, with the old Tampa, you need those alternative routes. Well, as much as connecting developments going back and back, you need to get those little roads that need to get infilled. And if they're not on a high priority list, they get left behind. And I think that's what happened on the west side. A lot of those improvements that should have been done never got done. And you've heard me talk about between Ranch Road, many years it took to get that finally done, which we are in process of. It's funded now, it's going forward. Zimmerman, another one as well. All those are things that would connect and make it better if you don't allow some things to happen. Now, one of the things I didn't mind doing, if the board so willed, by cutting down the TIF, we had flexibility to pull from the general fund. That was one of the benefits. If we pulled it out, we can go say, we want to get a road funded. Let's go stroke a check. We can fund it because we get more general fund money. So that is available to us.
I was told that would come from parks and fire rescue. Fire stations, so
we
either
set
build
the budget.
parks or fire stations or some of these roads, and that the reason that delta didn't happen as a 30% increase was that the cost of building the roads increased, and that's kind of what ate up that money that they thought was going to be there. But so let's have a workshop on this. I want to move on to my second discussion item, and that is when we have an agreement with the city of Newport Richey, and I'm not an expert on this, so someone may have to help me with this. When, when we finish out Leisure Lane and the city of Newport Richey annexes that, they take the road and they take responsibility for the care of the road that's in their cities. We do not maintain roads in the city of Newport Richey. We do not apparently have that same kind of agreement with Dade City. And I do want to have more discussions with Dade City on annexation. And, you know, we put in special programs like VOPH or whatever, and we plan out vision roads and parks. And then if Dade City comes and annexes some of our property and they don't want to participate in that vision road process, where's our, what do we do? We have a road network problem. But more importantly, my understanding is when Dade City annexes Pasco County property, they don't take the roads. They just take the property, and we still maintain the roads. And so we need to be putting an interlocal agreement in place for that ASAP.
Okay.
And any road that's in the Dade City limits, that's on them. If they want the property, they get the road. Then lastly, I wanted to show you a new tool. And if you could put up Google Maps, please. This just kind of showed up last week. And so I've been having lots of fun. I haven't really picked the best area, but for now I'm gonna one that's really, really dramatic because I didn't have it planned up for you yet. But if you would go to Little Road just south of Old County Road 54 on the Google Maps, I'll show you something that is a little eye-opening. And then, sorry, this one isn't as dramatic as it could be. I could show you others, but I'm just going to pick this one today. So drop a pin on Little, and you have to be in the Little Road. Okay, so it's south of Pit Boss. Where it says Sawgrass Creek Apartments, and then, okay, so, and then where it says the Little Road, drop your pin right on that Little Road. Down, 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 right there. Make sure you're on the highway. Okay, so scroll around, and I want you to see the bank. Keep turning around. The bank, yeah, that Truist Bank. Okay. Now that's interesting. Okay, up there on your left-hand corner where it says see more dates, this is currently what it looks like. I can tell you, unfortunately, these don't go back as far because this used to be a Barnett Bank covered with live oak trees, just covered with live oak trees. If you go to, okay, just click on that one, October 19th, you can see what it looked like then, and you can go back a little bit to there, and you see they had a hedge, most of it was missing. But you can start to see what they used to look like and what they look like today. And I can tell you today, there's nothing there. You can go back to the
original.
The original. Now, if you think that's premier, and if that's the good direction we want to go in, I'm going to disagree with you.
You can tell there's no irrigation there also because the grass is brown.
It's dead weed, and it's horrible. And so this is a new tool that just popped up on Google Maps. You'll see it in the upper left corner where it says see latest date, and you can see a timeline of what it looked like and what it looks like today. So I just wanted to share that with you. And that's it for me.
That's it? Okay.
On my Bentonville trip, I'm going to tell you who went, and we're going to give you guys a report. Keith Wiley went, Adam from Parks and Recs, Adam, Tina for our trails builder, and Sam Bennick, our trails engineer. PEDC sent Sarah and me, there were 8 of us, and Gunther Flagg from BPAC, and it was his idea. And I would tell you, he told me a few years ago, you need to go see what Bentonville's doing with trails. And then over the year and a half, 3 other people told me, you need to go see what they're doing. And so when you start hearing that, you're like, okay, let's go we did a little research. It's the home of Walmart. Not my favorite store, but I will just tease you with this, that I thought we were going to be the first municipality going in and having a presentation from their economic development people, their chamber people, their tourism people, and we were the 25th this year. 25th this year to see how they have transformed that area of Arkansas into an amazing place to live, work, and play. So I just want to tell you that.
Okay. All right. County Administrator Mike Carvello.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to thank the board for that discussion previously on mobility fees, credits, transportation program, because it's an important one for our citizens and our transportation network. So I'm looking forward to more to come on that. Just a couple of quick shout outs. I'd like to congratulate publicly Esther Oliemi, our building official. She was named the top building official of 2023 by the state of Florida. So that's indeed a great honor for the Building Officials Association of Florida to bestow on this county and the work that she's doing there. It's also important to note that shout out to our media relations and communications team. And so again, we talk about putting forward a lot of great news stories out there. We're looking forward to agreed upon segments with Good Morning Tampa Bay and ABC Action News on everything from pets to our parks, skills, redevelopment and renovation. So this is going to be a lot of good stuff about Pasco County being in the news. So we're very excited about that. That's all, sir.
Okay. County Attorney.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, we had a declaratory judgment action filed against the county some time back by a company that that installs fabric covers over boat lifts, coastline boat covers, Nature Coast LLC. We recently, within the last couple of weeks, received the judge's order on a motion for partial summary judgment invalidating Ordinance 1912, which was the last dock cover ordinance that the board adopted. That ordinance actually allowed inland lakes to have covers, which means it reverts to the earlier version, which no one's allowed to have covers. I would like to add the grounds in which she invalidated the ordinance was Pasco County failed to abide by the heightened notice requirements of section 125-66-4B when enacting ordinance 1912, which is the notice requirements that are required for a county-initiated rezoning of property, not an amendment to your land development code. I think basically she got the law wrong, and I would like to get the board's authorization to appeal that ruling to the appellate court.
Well, you would have my support.
Well, let's discuss this a little bit if we could. When this was coming forward, you had people on the Hudson area that wanted to have their boats covered. They weren't worried about the view. They figured if you have a boat lift that was up there, the boat lift, if the boat's on it, whether it covers on it or not, it's only a foot difference. They weren't worried about it. There's a lot of them that are still on, that they had put on. What we did was we told them they couldn't do it, and we separated them out so the lakes people, they could protect their boats and put a boat cover on it. And it was determined with the view shed around the lake, less obtrusive, that's how it was going to go. And the law states you cannot separate the two out. That's our problem. So I'm going to say we could spend a lot of time.
No, that's not true, Commissioner. No? That we can separate it out. That's what we did.
Isn't that what we got called out on?
No.
Okay,
clarify for me. What you got, and that's what I'm saying is the judge's rationale for invalidating the ordinance was that we didn't advertise it as a zoning ordinance. It wasn't a zoning ordinance. It's a docks ordinance. It had nothing to do with the increased intensity of the use of property. That's what she used, which basically means to make any changes in your land development code, you would have to do the 125-4B notice requirements rather than the way we normally notice.
This has big ramifications.
This has ramifications to a lot. All of your changes to the land development code. Now, again, if the change in, there is nothing that prohibits the board from revisiting the issue of whether or not you want to allow these covers or not. But based on this order, it's my recommendation that the board appeals it.
I think we have to, or we've got issues. So, that's why I'm absolutely in favor of it.
So,
Commissioner Oakley.
Jeff, state that again. Is something about the way we advertise?
We ran the ad in the legal section of the Tampa Bay Times, not in the full paper section. So there is a provision in 12566 that governs how you advertise an ordinance that says you must advertise if the county is going to rezone property, county-initiated rezones, or the county is going to change the list of permitted uses in a zoning category, you must advertise as a display ad someplace other than the legal notice sections of the paper.
So that anybody or everybody that reads the paper could see that?
That's the theory, yes.
Yeah.
You know, for the most part, since I've been doing this, most people who look for rezonings look in the legal ad section because that's where the projects are being rezoned.
So specific ones, in the future, we will have to advertise in just the normal paper.
This is I think, a bad interpretation of this section of the statute that we've got to challenge, whether or not you decide that you want to allow these boat covers.
Okay. Commissioner Whitman.
Isn't it cheaper just to rerun the ad? The rule said you got to run the ad. Why can't we just rerun the ad?
You can readopt the ordinance up or down. I mean, you can readopt the ordinance, but my concern is that every change to your land development code based on this ruling would have to be done with that more expensive heightened notice requirements, and you've got ordinances that you didn't advertise that way for the 5-year period that's exposed.
What's going to be more expensive, going to court, or how often are we doing this?
I didn't get summary judgment with the next judge.
So you've got a case with a circuit court ruling, but that can be used as precedent for other cases in this circuit.
So you think we need to
challenge it?
Yes, I think we need to file a notice appeal with the appellate court, and this would be done in-house with our office.
All right, I'll second the motion.
I agree with that.
I'll second the motion.
Okay.
I don't know if you had them.
For recommendation.
Commissioner Starkey has, you had
I made that motion, yeah.
Okay.
Motion made a second. Commissioner Oakley?
Second.
Okay. Yeah. All right. As we talk this through, I don't want to see the ramifications of the judgment here. I do think that we need to look at and relook at. I suggest we bring the item back up anyway. We're going to have to at some point. But there are the people in Hudson, they want their boat covers. They want to be able to do it. They want to find a way. From what I was shown, county attorneys disagreeing with it, but what I was shown from long before, that you can't really separate out how you treat canals to lakes. I think it's worthy of discussion going forward. I haven't touched the issue because I knew we were in litigation to let it go, but I think it's something to bring back and look at as well.
Yeah,
Commissioner Waitman.
But Chair, yes, I do agree. If you want a boat cover at your property, you should be able to protect it. I agree with that. I'm just worried about all the LDC issues that
Correct.
That are bigger picture.
Right, and since for that reason, I'm going to support the motion, but I just want to be clear as to why. But
And to be clear, county attorney doesn't care about the policy decision of whether covers are allowed or not.
Right.
We took this forward to the board. The zoning, the planning department brought forward a land development code amendment that would have allowed them and it failed 2 to 3, I think. I don't remember what it failed. That doesn't mean that if the policy of the board has changed, that's not a matter of discussion. I have, that's
Okay.
fine.
All right, so for that reason, I'm going to call the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So it passes unanimously to go fight that.
Thank you.
I would like this to bring us back, though, to let's review this. We got 2 new board members. I think you've got some history out there with these covers, how they lasted, et cetera. And I think better discussions can happen from what
Okay,
you've
and you know
heard as
that
well.
my neighborhood, Gulf Harbor, is very much opposed to it.
Oh, I understand.
And that I will bring in commissioners from South Florida, that in the hurricane, those boat covers became missiles and damaged nearby boats.
And again, I think a full open discussion
And
is worthy.
When it becomes a missile by an act of God and goes into the side of your neighbor's boat, you don't get the money to repair your boat from the
Because act of
neighbor
nature.
whose cover became the missile.
Okay.
I think it's better.
All right. Anything further?
Yes,
Okay.
I do have one more item. This one should be easier.
Should be.
So, I believe it was in February, Commissioner Waitman asked for the county attorney's office to review the sexually oriented business ordinance and to add, or to see if we could add registration requirements based on a case, and apparently there are a couple of cases where underaged females were working in these clubs. Legislature apparently heard the concern from others. They have adopted Senate Bill 7064. It is enrolled and is headed on its way to the governor's office. It's an act related to human trafficking that the owners of these facilities are to obtain the proof of identity and age of each employee or independent contractor. It does, I believe, what the commissioner was intending for us to do by local ordinance, and the penalties are more severe. I would suggest that, and the county attorney's office can draft a letter in support of Senate Bill 7064 to send to the governor's office to ask him to sign.
Okay, Commissioner Waitman.
Thank you for that. Yeah, this, when we kicked this subject matter off and what happened in our own county and then a neighboring Orange County, I reached out to our local legislative delegation issues and hoping that Tallahassee, of all the issues they brought up, that this was one that they could bring up and hopefully set a policy standard statewide. This is very good to hear. This has more stringent consequences, and I was hoping this board, instead of us going down and hiring third-party attorneys to write ordinances and everything that goes into it, that this board, we could do a unified letter to our governor and ask him that he support and sign this, and then we adopt it. And I think it's a great start and gives our state attorney and local law enforcement officials what they need to do to start tightening rules and other things around these types of businesses.
It's great to hear. Would you like to make a motion for that?
Yes, motion to send a letter to Governor DeSantis and his team that we're in support of. What's the Senate bill? What's it?
And Senate Bill 7064
Senate Bill
on human trafficking.
7064 related to human trafficking.
Okay, motion and second. All in favor, say.
And that's to authorize the chair to sign that letter, or do you want to all sign?
Whatever's most effective.
It will be quicker to have the chair sign.
All right.
Yeah.
Fine.
Okay.
Big bold letters, Chair.
Good. All right,
Happy faces.
Yeah.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Okay, we're at the noon hour, so we'll stop there. Anything from the clerk later on?
No, Madam Clerk doesn't have anything for me to bring forward.
All right, so I'll bring my committee reports later.
I would I've got an item I want to talk about, but it's a miscellaneous type item, but it deals with some of the cities and water issues, but I can hold that
We'll do it
off
after-
until the end of the
okay.
day.
All right, I'll call you first.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, we're adjourned for lunch. We'll be back at 1:30.
Pasco depend on you to keep them healthy. Excess fertilizer, grass clippings, trash, oils, and pet waste wash into gutters and storm drains when it rains. Stormwater carries these pollutants directly into our lakes and rivers, creating an unhealthy environment for fish, waterfowl, and other aquatic animals. Storm drains are meant for clean rainwater. Most other discharges are illegal. If you suspect an illicit discharge, please contact Pasco County Department of Public Works at 727-834-3611.